Hello everyone. It's Friday. It's 12 p.m. at least my time. I'm based in Norway. And yeah, let's talk about Terraform. My name is Anton Babenko, and this is pretty much weekly dose of Terraform, where I'd like to do some things about Terraform. Live coding seems to be the easiest for me. So, well, uh, let's get going and see how much I can do today. As obviously, I mean, no guarantee that I will fix any issues today, but I will try. Maybe I will fix some pull requests which were outstanding. Maybe we will be able to have some conversation in chat, as it happens last time. I think quite a few people actually reached out to me after or during the live stream, and they said that they really like the format. I'm not sure what exactly was so new in the format, to be honest, because I'm just looking at my screen, pressing buttons on the keyboard, and yeah, talking about something. So yeah, feel free to provide some feedback. Hopefully, you'll be able to benefit from it as well. Okay, so let's see what I can do today. Mm, well, let's start with simple thing. Please let me know in chat how you can hear me, or where are you from, or whatever you want to say. I'm open. Okay, so Terraform Weekly is again growing quite nicely. Thanks, Stira, for sponsoring this week's episode. If you want to know more about Stira, join April 18th, and there will be some workshop, like hands-on workshop. Yeah, weekly TF, Terraform Weekly, with a bunch of news which I did find during the week, and then I share them here, so you don't have to browse the whole internet. Couple open source projects as usual, and yeah, some of my feedback. If you see AB, then it's me. We are from Ukraine, exactly. Hello, Denise. And Denise is the guy who is making trainings and yeah, popularizing DevOps in general in Ukraine. So thanks. Good to see you, Denise. Okay. Uh, how well was it? Yeah, right, exactly. 1 hour ago, I was like, yeah, why people are still struggling with Kubernetes deployment using Terraform? I know that it's not kind of the most recommended way or the best way. I'm not here to say that this is the right way. I'm here to come up with different hacks. And one of these hack, which is for the situations where you don't want to use your backend. Uh, Hello, Adam. Where you don't want to use even where you don't want to even think about where Terraform state is being stored. Is it on S3? Who can access to it? What about secrets in this type, in this Terraform file, like Terraform state file? Sometimes you just want to use something what is undocumented, which is backend type in mem. If you use this piece of code, then Terraform state will be stored in memory, and next time when you run Terraform apply, it will say like, hey, I want to create these resources again, because it doesn't know anything about Terraform being executed previously. So feel free to yeah, feel free to follow me on Twitter. I may come up with some other hacks. I'm a bit surprised that this is so unknown to many people. Well, I was using this for more than 3 years quite successfully, well, to populate secrets at least, or to do something with inserting records in the database, for example. I don't want to manage the records itself, I just want them to be inserted using Terraform. Okay, that's it. And yeah, boycott Russian sport, that's pretty good. I'm Ukrainian, as you can imagine, so I hate Russia for obvious reasons, and I'm trying to forget Russian language too. Okay, right, this is it. Okay, so let's take a look into some Terraform today. What I have here, let me think. Right, okay, so this one I merged last week, like literally during last live stream, and apparently I introduced a bug there, which I will take a look in today and hopefully fix it. So it's going to be ALB module. Then we'll probably look into this one, add support for JavaScript AppSync function. It should be straightforward. I didn't look into the code yet, but should be simple. And maybe this one again. We'll see. I have few pull requests open here. If I make some of them, I will be very happy. If I don't make kind of any of them, I will be a bit disappointed. Then I will have to work weekends, and yeah, I don't want. Okay, let's start with bug fix. So what was this? Right, so last week I added, or I merged, I didn't make this pull request, where we added support for these values, and it turned out that this was not forward compatible change. So for people who were using this module before, this assumption enable XFFF client port, and this one should be disabled, should be null. So should be null, which means that oh wait, what I'm talking even about? Okay, let's look into the documentation. So this is resource AWS LB. Obviously search doesn't work. Yes, search doesn't work. No changes there, so we don't have to rely on it. Go to documentation directly. Of course, include space after this resource. So funny. And now find not just one resource, but 161. Okay, good job. Okay, here is this resource. Okay, and it was XFF, so defaults to true. And this one defaults to, all right. So defaults to true and defaults to false. And that's what we have here as default values. Let me think. Yes, this is the right behavior. Default to true is breaking change for apps that rely on x forwarded 4, as it's now including port by default. Well, then just disable it, right? Enable XFL client port. We'll just disable it. That's simple. Let's see what this is breaking change. So client port default. Let's see. Client defaults to true is default behavior. So let's make this as a comment. Is true in AWS provider. You can change it to false if you need. That's pretty much the solution. Okay, and while I like to see new features being added to the module, I don't like that with each version the default values change. Well, this is not true because we just add new argument. That's it. Until now was not set to false, but now it's automatically set to true, which will make changes to our existing production. Well, this was not patch release, this was minor release. So you will have to adopt your configuration. If you add new features, can you please set the default to disabled so that there are no changes to existing users? So we can say has true by default in the Terraform AWS provider. So you will have to specify the changes or in your IAC configuration or bin version of this module to accept only patches, not minor changes, not minor releases, like this one was. That's it. Okay, let's open this one. So it's true, you can change it if you need. That's it. This was simple, actually. Okay, let's look into AppSync. I really like to work with serverless for some reason. I don't know why. Sometimes they just give me a feeling that it's pretty simple. Like it's less magic, less Kubernetes involved, and I really like it. Okay. Mm. Just 1 second. Okay. Right, so add support for JavaScript app sync function. Currently, the module doesn't support JavaScript runtime for app sync functions. Hello, used Sanen. I don't know where are you from. Sounds like a Finnish name to me. Okay, hello. So, mm, let's see. So recently we added, I'm not familiar with AppSync changes recently. So we added some support for, I guess, for resolvers, right? What was it? Runtime. Yeah, it was for resolver, right? Okay. And now we are adding support for function, as I understand. Netherlands. Oh, right. Yeah, of course, Netherlands also have these double letters in the names. Cool. Welcome. Okay, let's take a look into the code and see if there is some magic here. This is just an example of the function to validate plan and exam. Oh, let's take a look into another stuff. Finally, a value. Right. Oh, let's take a look into this provider as well today. I always wanted to look into it, but I was a bit lazy. So yeah, let's do something fun. So let's take a look into this pull request, and then we will work around about these issues and see if I will be able to fix them. Okay, you should be excited for that because you see this error if you work with Terraform quite frequently when it says known after apply. Mm. Hello, Abdul. Yes, I will explain one more time about in-mem in a bit. I already did at the beginning, but I will come back to this in a second. Okay, let's finish this one first. So some real function here. Oh my God. Some changes. Oh my God, that's a little bit too many changes at the same time. Okay, what exactly are we doing here? Huh? Each value type field. Well, I'm a bit lost. I thought it's going to be just one small change somewhere, but no, apparently not. Uh, okay, let's look into this change one more time. So first we add And we add JavaScript complete. What is it? It's function. So inside of function, we are adding JavaScript complete, which use this data source, some other configuration, lambda conflict handler config. Okay, so some magic is here. Runtime, specified code. Okay, and then we add data source, which is used. Where is it used? Where this data source is used. Query entity. What is this? Lambda1. Data source lambda1. This one. So why do we need to add this data source? I don't know. So right now I don't understand why should we add this data source and add another field here and another field here. I mean, of course we can add a lot of stuff, but is it really necessary? That's what I'm not sure. I understand. Okay, then we add some changes. So we have for resolvers, and then we do the same for functions. So inside of functions, we split by dot. So we split by dot here. Not sure I understand the logic. No, okay, not here. Inside of functions, why do we need to split by dot? We split k by dot, type and field. So we add type and field from key. The key here is JavaScript complete or none. I'm not sure that we need this change either. Why do we need this for functions? We have this thing for resolvers. Let me increase font just to make sure that everybody can see it well. So we have this for resolvers, but resolvers are slightly different, right? Resolvers. Here is it. Resolvers, yes, we have a lot of logic inside of resolver where we have entity and then dot, not entity, type dot field, right? So we have type dot field in resolvers. Where is this? In resolvers here. That's fine. That's how it should be. For functions, I don't think it's needed. I don't see where it's needed. Okay. So it's not needed change. Then each value code. So we are using function version and we get code. So if we have each value code set to null, hello Anand. Well, if we have each value code, okay, where is it? An example. Each value, it's not in resolvers, it's here. Okay, code is specified. Then Yeah. Okay, then we use this version, otherwise it's null. That's correct. So max batch size is the new argument. Yes, it's new. It's null by default. And then request mapping template. That's where we do comparison. If it's upsync.js, then we specify null. Otherwise, we specify. So wait, if it is JavaScript, then it's disabled, right? If it is not JavaScript, then we use this value. Where this value is coming from, not sure I understand it now. Well, I guess this is necessary for default runtime, which was VTL. Okay. And code. And this will fail if it is not specified, right? It will just fail and it will tell that, hey, this is required. But for appsync.js, code is required, so it's good. Can this be simplified into something like, just to avoid the whole comparison, like this, and otherwise it's null? Probably can. Let me run this piece of code somewhere here. No. So try of something and then null, right? And then var, no, var, well, there should be some bad expression. What can be bad expression? What can be wrong expression? That's tricky. It's tricky. And data, no, okay, local region. No, what's here? Variable. We don't have any variable. Okay, local.region, for example, right? Yeah, well, local region exists. Okay, what about just null? Yeah, so null is fine. I was thinking that it's similar behavior, maybe as Koleski. Koleski will fail. But okay, that's good. So this can be simplified like this because we don't really care about the comparison. I mean, it's required for it's required for JavaScript, right? Okay, what about this one? Sync config. Well, to look into this one, let's check out the documentation for this resource. Function, and it should be sync config. So here we have conflict detection. It's optional, 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 right? Everything is optional, 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 optional. Okay. What I mean by that is that if this is not specified, then it's fine. This one we are trying to figure out conflict detection and fall back to none. which is bad because we need to uh, we need to let me think one more time. Yeah, we can. I'm a bit unsure which version to specify, like which value to specify, none or version. Uh, or here it's even more complicated. So maybe if we leave this to none, it's good. Here is a little bit more logic. If we look into conflict handler and if it's lambda, then we don't want to take this into account uh, and use this one. It's much better to remove this comparison and let user figure out what they need to specify. Let users figure out what they need to specify. And we also have this shown in the example. Also okay. Okay, and then the rest is fine. Handler IRN, yeah. Okay, and then runtime value name. So name is suddenly required. Is it true? Let's take a look into another implementation where was resolver. Yeah, so runtime was required here. Yeah, well, actually, implementation for resolver is very similar. I can see here code was similar. So yeah, we can leave it like this too. That's not a problem here. Okay, so runtime was required. The runtime version is 100. Looks good. So I think this one is not needed. Why do we need this for functions? I think it will work well without it. And also we don't show this in example, so it's not really easy for me to understand what was the reason here. Okay, this piece of code, this entity, can we not introduce entity here? Can we just use previous one? Let me see. Yeah, we can do this. Let's remove entity. From schema and use existing types to illustrate the functionality of JS functions. This is, again, it's much easier to show less code. Yeah, that's it. I mean, we have resolvers for post ID, post title, but we don't have anything for user, so user can be used. To illustrate on type user, for example. Okay. Right, I think that's it. There is nothing else what I can imagine. What can we do? Uh, Good. So let me think. I want to look into this pseudo-dynamic value provider. How can I do this? Hmm, Is there is such place even in this code where this is necessary? Yeah, that's it. So this is a place where we can look into it. Uh, okay, should I merge this? I mean, should I submit these request changes? Good. And now let's take a look into this code. So I can look um, into AppSync module, and I can look into this value provider. There is some documentation for some resources. Maybe there is even examples. Oh yeah, there are a lot of examples. Fantastic. Okay, yeah, there was a question by Abdul uh, post about backend in MEM. So backend in MEM, just one more time. It's no, not this one. Where was it? Twitter. I guess it's somewhere here. So the point of this idea uh, is that you may want to use Terraform, but you don't want to care about Terraform state file at all. As an example, you may want to use Terraform to run just Terraform apply, and it will do something what you don't care about, like Terraform, no, Kubernetes deployment, for example, because state of the deployment is tracked elsewhere than in Terraform state. It's tracked in Kubernetes itself. Or you may want to populate secrets so that you will read something from your external vault, for example. You will use Terraform resources to push them somewhere to SSM, for example. And you don't want to track changes after this being applied. So you run Terraform apply, secrets are transferred somewhere, and next time when you run Terraform apply, it will say like, oh yeah, I want to do this again, because it doesn't have understanding of what was previously created. It doesn't know about state at all. You need to be a bit more careful than usually, but well, I'm not here to give you any disclaimer and like, hey, you shouldn't use it. Come on, use it, break it, and it's gonna to be fine. Yeah, have fun. Okay, I think I gave my portion of warnings, which is all right. So let's look into AppSync. AppSync is AppSync. Git check out. Okay, so I'll probably work in a branch. How to call it? Value value provider hack. It's just hack. Okay, now let's look into AppSync examples. So somewhere here, if I run this code right now, it will work probably. But let me do the required change. Where is it? Right, so here, line 170. Or maybe I can use, yeah, 170 is good. So this thing is dynamic reference to this output. This is not going to work because you have to create this resource in advance. So if I run code now, it will work because, well, this function has been created, or I have to create it in advance somehow. Normally we use terraform apply hyphen target. So if I run apply, it will work. That's pretty boring. What I want to do now, I'm not going to run this code now. Just want to see that it worked. What I want to do is that I would like to use this lambda function 1. So this is another module, and there is a folder called fixtures, which is created just one lambda function. So now if I run terraform apply, the idea is that it creates a little bit more resources, and line 170 somewhere here. So now it's pointing to lambda function I ran here. Let me think again. Yeah, actually, I have added this solution, I think, already to the lambda function recently. Yeah. Huh. Well, that's smart. I added this November. I forgot about it. So, but anyway, it's similar. Uh, so if I run this code now, it will fail because it doesn't know this lambda function I ran yet. I can play with some depends on and have a lot of bad things in my code. Let me make it fail first. Well, for some reason I'm creating cognito resources and a bunch of other crap, which is not needed. Even ACM certificates, oh my god, why do I do all of this? But okay, we can live with this. It's yeah, ACM. So these examples are a bit too big for the purpose of this demo. So anyway, let me walk you through the solution which I have implemented in November, and I kind of forgot about it already. So inside of outputs of the lambda function module, we have lambda function I ran static, which is exactly for the case where we want to avoid cycle errors between resources, like inside of step function or app sync. This IRN is well known already. It does not contain anything what we need to wait for AWS servers to come up with some IRN. So now I expect this thing to fail because, well, because why not? But if I rewrite it to lambda function I ran static, then this string will be known, and it has slightly higher chance to succeed. Meanwhile, I need to drink coffee. Oh yeah, and there is also spam. Oh, that's so good. I really like to receive messages from spammer who are trying to sell some offer promotion to your channel. That's so good. If you can find people who are interested in Terraform, please send them my way. But if it's like normal gamers or like boring stuff, well, it's not good. And you will be punished for that for the whole life. Okay, why it's doing some magic. Anyway, it will eventually, uh, it should eventually fail. I may come up with a bit smaller example just to uh, see that it works. And let's see. Where else I can do? Right. So now let's look into while it's doing something. Let's take a look into potential improvement which I can do. For example, for lambda 2 function. Uh, so one way is static. No, lambda function I ran does not exist yet inside of that fixture, but it's minor thing. It exists in the module itself. Right, so for lambda 2, what I can do here, mhm, we'll put somewhere here this provider, how to call it. Let's take a look into, um, well, what kind of example do I even need? Cheers from Poland. Cześć, jak se masz? That's it. Is fully known or is known? What is it? Oh my god, there are so many pieces of code. So, value unknown proposer. This example is complete, but there are additional features implemented in Terraform. In Terraform. Hmm? Provider value. Anyway, I need to put something like this. Project-wise seed edition. Oh, we will not override module scope seed edition. Well, it's magic. Is there some documentation for this? That's when you realize that, oh, that's a great idea, but there is no documentation, and you suffer for the rest of your live stream. Okay, value is fully known, proposed unknown. Mm, value nested, promise, mm, replaced when. Mhm. Well, I wish there is some documentation. Really, it's a bit hard to figure out what's happening here. Maybe it doesn't work even. I'm not sure that. I mean, I cannot guarantee that it works. Plan non-validation. Yeah, I think I will just have to play with it and try it somehow, and hopefully it works. So this is a piece of code which I need to add. Mm, provider meta value. Well, it's not needed, I guess. Provider value. I don't know what is it. So this is important thing that I'm installing uh, value. Uh, let's see. I'd like to thank you for the terraform-aws module. I've been using it for multiple projects for the past 2 years. I used to use serverless framework for lambdas plus Terraform for everything else. And your module helped me bridge the gap. That's exactly what I wanted to achieve. So really good to hear that you have positive experience with it. I know there are a lot of things which can be improved, as always, but I was also using serverless framework, and I don't really like this separation. So serverless TF was started exactly as like, oh my god, why serverless framework exists? Why it's so hard? If Terraform is simple and serverless is hard, there should be some middle ground. So yeah, really glad to hear that it works for you. Let's figure out how to install this pseudo dynamic value. Maybe here it has some documentation. Oh, right, it has some documentation. Oh my god. Unbelievable. So I just need to figure out which one of these uh, resources I need to use. Documentation. pseudo-dynamic value. That's I don't need to install it from GitHub because obviously it's not going to work. And version, I don't care about it. It's going to be the last one. So, okay, so here is it, optional. It serves as GUID seed addition to those resources that implement GUSeed as an attribute. But there are scopes you need to keep in mind. If this has been specified in the provider block, then top level nested modules are using and blah blah blah. Magic, really magic. I mean, I just need to understand where GUID seed is implemented. So anyway, this is probably not needed. I'm probably interested in this one. Allows you to have access to a result during plan phase that state whether value or any nested attribute is marked as known after apply. Is this the case? Probably not, because I don't care what's happening during plan. What is it? Allow you to have access to a result during plan phase that states value marked as known after apply or not. Mm-hmm. Allows to treat a value as unknown. This is desirable when you want post conditions first being evaluated during apply phase. Well, magic. I don't understand what's happening here, really. Maybe this provider is a bit too early to take seriously. I don't know. Replaced with... No, that's not what we need. Allows you to manage any kind of value in resource. Very descriptive. This resource is very obscure, well, actually, as the whole provider, to be honest, and misbehaving, and you really should only use it for proposed unknown. Or, well, I think I need to pick between fully known and known. Okay. Fully known is for nested attributes. Okay, that's good to know. There are some GUID seed, and then there is proposed unknown and value. Okay, right, so I need to look into fully unknown and is known. Let's start with known because it's probably smaller and simpler. Okay, yeah, it failed. Well, it failed for some other reason. It failed because operation lambda create function, the runtime parameter 3.6 is no longer supported. Oh my god. 3.6. Oh, it's just inside of fixtures. How to change it? Well, I need to change it inside of Lambda module, inside of examples, fixtures. Here, right? Fixtures. Where was it? Examples, fixtures, AWS Lambda function. Where is this AWS Lambda function? Yeah. I don't see it here. Why I don't see it here? Terraform, examples, fixtures, AWS Lambda function. It's inside of CloudWatch. Oh my god. Yeah, that's where it started a long time ago. I needed it then. and I just added it into CloudWatch, and it works pretty good there, but I was never prioritizing it to move to a bit more central place. So examples, fixtures, lambda function here, and somewhere here I need to change this 3.6 to 3.9. Okay, I can change it now here. That's no problem. And just instead of pointing to this location, again, it's going to break. So I'm going to use my pass terraform-aws-modules, terraform AWS CloudWatch, and then examples, fixtures, something like this. Yeah. So this location I have updated. It's good. Okay, let's drop a lot of stuff just to not wait for so long time. Domain name association and all these other things which were created. Domain name association enabled. Sorry, but it's false. Cache, again, for this it's not needed. OpenID connect. I guess they don't need a lot of time, so it can be just commented here. ACM, zones. Yeah, ACM in different regions, certificate. That's it. So this should be duplicate, right, of course. I need to merge this guy with content inside of versions. Right. Good. I have installed this pseudo dynamic value provider at the same time. Good. So now it's trying to delete a lot of things, add a lot of things, change something. Yeah, so let it succeed for the time being. It's good. And I think it should be quick because ACM took a lot of time. It's not needed for this demo. Okay. So let's think about where to put this magic resource. While it's doing something, I will look into value is known. So a value is known. Where is value is known? So it should be an example. Terraform known. This is it. So unknown proposer. Yeah, that's what they say. Avoid. Don't use it. But here is it. This resource and output. So I probably need to play with this. Let's take a look on other files too. So some configuration. Propose. Yeah. Okay. Let's put this stuff into code somewhere. What is this proposer? I don't know what is it, so let's disable it for now. So value test, and here output is coming from here. Okay. Let's see, now it's deleting cache, deleting the main name. Well, it takes some time. Yeah, I should have figured out a little bit smaller module probably, because this one is just a bit too big. But okay. Is there something inside of output? No. All right. So let's see when it finish. And I need to make it fail. That's important. Important. Otherwise, it's pretty hard to fix something what is already working. Mhm. Right. It's pretty boring to see it without doing anything. Maybe I'll look into some other changes in other modules. Let's take a look into, yeah, into this one. These are reviewed. That's good that somebody approved. Looking forward for this being released. Me too. Still some work to be done. Let's run this. Okay. This is not needed. Let's look into this one. Support maximum concurrency for Lambda with SQS as event source. So if you want to set, you need AWS provider 451. And which version do we expect now? 454, so it's good. So that's no problem. Oh, a lot of people wanted it, so probably a good idea to prioritize it. Update branch, just to make sure that everything is a bit up to date. Okay, what was it? Scaling config. So Brian suggests to introduce map instead of string here. What is it? Yeah, scaling config is new property where what is this? Yeah, right. Well, that's common sense. We do this in other modules. Yeah, so pretty good suggestions. No comments about it. So let's see. The PR has already been checked and corrected by Brian. We are waiting for the PR to be merged. No, actually, are we simply waiting for Brian's suggestion to be implemented? Well, yes, we do. Event source mapping. Do we have this functionality already? Or just 1 second. If we look into main, I guess, event source mapping, and here, what was it? Scaling. And here we have scaling config. No, scaling config is not here, so we need to have this implemented. That's it. Okay, so I will just leave a comment to David. Please fix this PR as brand suggested, and I will be able to merge it as that's it. Yeah. Okay, so this is it. Good. Okay, so here we are. Let's go back to AppSync. So the problem here was resolved, kind of obviously. Post unknown is required. Okay, I will put it back. I still have no clue what it is, uh, but that's it, right? Unknown proposer. Wait, where is it? Which file did I copy it from? Unknown proposer. Which one is? I guess this is what I need to take. Known, unknown. What is the difference between this? I have no clue. What is the difference? But let's put this one, and let's put a reference where I took it from. That's what I did. So I put this content below from this file. Okay, so if I now run apply, let's see, it says fully known true. What is it, true? Proposed unknown, fully known true. That's it. Anyway, let's let's figure out one thing at a time. At least the resources I don't care about. Let's make it fail with AppSync first. So I added something and I got some result back. Okay, so if I run terraform apply one more time, it's doing, what is it? Known after apply. Yeah, no, the lack of documentation is pretty important. I don't understand what these resources do, but again, all I want to do is just to get AppSync to fail for real. Now it's say that lambda authorizer config is here. Okay, what else I can do? So for this guy, if I put this here now, it will disable this lambda function and it will be using static thing. That's good. And also I want to remove this lambda function completely. So I'm going to comment out the whole section here and I'm going to run apply. So now I'm removing lambda function and it's changing this configuration. Good. So it's gone. Now I'm restoring this behavior because my lambda function is dynamic and I want to apply. And for the first time, I want to see an error. And there is no error. So problem solved. And no, there should be an error. Come on. No, there will be no error because it says API. No, where is it? No, there are no errors. because it was able to create Lambda function resources before, and then it was able to modify data source. Modify. Modify. Maybe that's the case. So if I put this back again, so like this, and like this. What is this? So lambda 1 is static now. What if I remove the whole lambda 1 from here? So I need to remove it from its data source. So I'm going to remove it from this mutation, so nothing is pointing to it, from this resolver, right? And from data source too, right? So now there are no references of lambda 1 at all. And if I run this code now, so what I want to have is completely getting rid of all lambda 1 references now. So now if I put this back, I put all resolvers, all data source, and I'm referring to it as dynamic, as this guy. And I need to uncomment this section here. Now if I apply, what's going to happen? Well, this is my best test case as I imagine it. Yes, that's what I wanted to see. Though it's not the biggest problem. This would be a problem if and this would be a problem if I would consume this lambda 1 from the data source map itself. But since I don't care, I'm just outputting it here and consume it later, it's not going to trigger a problem. Where instead it will be a problem, let me find this piece of line, is the configuration of what's the data source. Resolver, data source, right, here is it. Here, that's exactly a line which is supposed to trigger problem, because it's known after apply and lambda is not yet created. So now if I run yes, I should see a problem. Come on, show me the problem. Doesn't seem to be a problem because Terraform already realized that it has to create lambda function first, and then it will create data source and resolver. So I didn't find, I couldn't make the problem. No, it works. That's too bad. Okay, let's look into another module where I think it was a bit more simplified to reproduce this bug. It was inside of step function, examples complete. Yeah, here we have some values for service integrations. Oh, we have it a lot inside of IAM. True. That's where we, for some reasons, we used to provide policies and number of policies. But again, this was for historical reasons. Maybe it's not going to be a problem anymore. Okay, where can I put this? Well, here it works well. as I can see, lambda function I ran here. Uh, hmm. No, it's not going to bring any problems here. As I can see, it's fine. I mean, it's hard-coded, but here is a reference to the lambda function, and I believe it works well. Well, let's take a look into some other place. Where can it be? Can it be inside of lambda function itself? Let me think. Incomplete. Somewhere here, maybe. No, it's not a problem. Mm. No, it's not here. Uh, in. No, it should be inside of. Well, it should be inside of lambda function, but it should be related to maybe here number, right? So let's look into this number of policy JSON. Where can be simple, complete. So here, number, right? So this one is a good example. It's so big. I want to work with this big mess. Let's find a little bit simplified version. So in serverless TF playground or demo, which one is simpler? Yeah, demo looks simple enough. Yeah, let's look into this one. Okay, I will come back to this case with AppSync if necessary, because I couldn't reproduce the bug yet. So let's change focus to go to serverless TF demo and then Terraform. So this is one of my repository which I use for some presentations or for talks, right? Yeah, I used it some time ago. So here, what I need to do, I need to add a policy. I don't need any API gateway, DynamoDB table. I don't need this. Policy statements. I don't need. Triggers. I don't need. Yeah, it should be very simplified. Python, okay, 3.9 if they want. Source code can be relative, that's okay. So inside of policy, that's where I want to write something. So number of policy JSON, or here, attach policies. That's great, right? It's list of something known. Good, good. So if I add this piece of configuration somewhere here, it's going to make lambda function and attach some policy. That's great. if I now go to run terraform init, mm, 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 tak. Good. So 9 resources. Good. Let's make it. Should be small and simple always. So while it's doing something, I can look into how to make policies, how to make this resource somewhere as an example. Mhm. Okay, right, so it was able to create these resources. Now let me just put it somewhere here, this simple policy document, seed principal resource. So inside of resource, what can we put? Well, we can put this DynamoDB table, for example. Principles, we don't care. Actions, again, we don't care about this. So we will create this DynamoDB table. We'll use these resources somewhere here. I know that action is incorrect, but who cares about this? So now what I want is that somewhere here I will put, no, so I just make this. And I need to put this name. Well, let's make it a bit more dynamic. Path should be data JSON, no tags. Good. So now if we put this into policies here and we refer to it IRN, so that's where things will be funny. So if I specify 2, it's gonna to work. What if I don't specify 2? What will happen? What? The following dependency. Right. Yeah. That's because DynamoDB table was a bit older than necessary. Uh, DynamoDB table, yeah, it's ancient as hell. Good. So now it's gonna to remove this thing completely, and it will not attach anything because I didn't specify number. But what I really want to do is that inside of this Lambda module in IAM, it's going to be attach policies. So number of policies, this one. So inside of this number of policies, I want to use length of var attach policies. That's what will produce some errors, right? So that's exactly an error in function call. because policy is true, call to function length failed, argument must be a string or collection. No, it should be attach policy. No, policies. Uh, and it's gonna to work. Why? Why? Why it's gonna to work? Hmm? Any idea? Well, eventually it will work because policy. Maybe not. Let's see. First it removes the attachment and then it makes policy and attach them to the lambda function. Mm. Can it be an old version of Terraform? Well, obviously it's going to complain a lot about my Terraform state or whatever it doesn't like. Yeah, it doesn't like some things. Mm. Okay, let's see. I want to destroy this thing first. It's not going to take a lot of time. Then I want to use then I want to use a specific version of DynamoDB table. For some reason it doesn't like the latest one, which is okay. I need to figure out which DynamoDB table version I should be using. So if not 3, then which version? Maybe 2. So init, no, tf switch to ancient version, download DynamoDB version. What? So version 2, does it support? No, version 2 is already breaking change. That's so we need version 1. Error refreshing state. Of course, state should be empty by now. So just drop this completely. There is no state anymore. Ooh. Okay, one more time. Let's download 1.3 is good. Now Lambda module may complain as well. No, it's okay. Yeah, Lambda module is using version 0.13.1. Still, okay, so now if I run terraform apply, what I expect, I really expect it to fail. Otherwise, there should be, yeah, there should be a bug somewhere. It takes some time for some reason. I have no clue what's happening right now. Yeah. Okay, it's making progress. Well, it looks like it's gonna to work. Again, it's making. Yeah, it took care of all policy roles and then it attached it. So why do we need mm, this one? Why do we need number of policies? I just don't understand this. If I don't specify at all, if I just write like this, maybe there are some cases when Terraform does not know that this resource will be created and then it cannot be used inside of list. What about? But okay, if I now destroy it, so apparently it works even with ancient version of Terraform, which is a bit surprising. Mhm. Right. So let's see if it works now and I cannot reproduce it, then yeah, again, it will work. And I'm using these local changes. Okay, well, apparently I'm a bit too stupid for this bug, um, so I cannot figure out what's missing here. So let's leave it on this note. I know that it was already 1.5 hours. Um, that's enough. Uh, I don't know what else to do with, at least with this problem. Um, yeah, and this is definitely not nice way of having it implemented, but we had it for very obvious reason, which apparently I forgot. And yeah, it happens from time to time when people get older. Okay, anyway, thanks everyone for joining. Hope you have a good day and hope you will enjoy the rest of your day. And yeah, have a great one. Bye.